Hello and welcome sa part 2 ng special Sorting Hat episode ng isa na namang Harry Potter podcast, kung saan sinusort natin ang 2022 presidential candidates into their respective houses based sa kaalaman namin tungkol sa houses at based din sa mga alam natin tungkol sa candidates mula sa kanilang mga social media page o kaya sa attendance nila sa debates at iba pang mga public information na nilalabas nila. Nung nakaraang episode, sinort na natin si Manny Pacquiao bilang Gryffindor, si Calyodi de Guzman bilang Gryffindor din, si Ping Lacson bilang Slytherin, si Lenny Robredo bilang Hufflepuff, at si Ernie Abella bilang Ravenclaw. Ngayon, itutuloy natin ang conversation at isusort natin yung mga natitira pang candidates. At makakasama pa rin natin ngayon si GJ, si Erica, at si Tash. So yun, without further ado, balikan na natin yung episode. Okay, let's continue. I will use the Tupperware of fire. Ayun, nahulog. May nahulog na.
Ayan na, niluwa.
Oo, ito na ang niluwa. Hindi ko sinasadyain pero nagluluwa siya. Si Faisal Mangundato.
Sino yan? Sino?
Si Faisal.
Ang pinag-info sa kanya.
Kasi quickly binasa ko yung bio niya. Palagay ko siya ay feeling ko sige na Hufflepuff. Hindi, feeling ko Hufflepuff
bakit?
siya.
Hindi, pero plano ko sana, aangkirin ko na siya bilang medyo, minsan pag sa debate, minsan parang hindi niya ma-express na maayos yung sinasabi niya. Na parang medyo trait din ng Ravenclaw yun. Na parang baka alam naman yung gusto niya sabihin pero hindi niya basta maayos.
Baka in writing.
Kaya minsan baka nagkaroon disconnect kung paano yung sagot niya sa tanong. Minsan ganun yung dating sa akin niya sa debates. So,
parang kumbaga espesyalista na nakikipag-usap sa karaniwang tao.
Parang ganun or parang minsan sabaw siya. May mga Ravenclaw kasing sabaw. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng Ravenclaw parang matalino, parang very coherent. So,
may sarili silang language.
Oo, pwedeng gano'n.
Pero inisip ko din yan actually. Baka at least sa debates, baka may language barrier bilang tinatry niya mag-Tagalog, tas siya, di ba, Moro.
Language barrier.
Ikaw, Tash?
Pinapakinggan ko rin kasi kanina yung sagot niya sa debates and parang tangential yung niya, sagot niya. Parang hindi niya ma-hit yung point. Pero siguro kung pinagsalita siya in his own native tongue, baka mas malalim pa yung masasabi niya. So, not Hufflepuff, hindi rin siya cunning. I don't see yet any signs of fighting for his own principles in a very steadfast manner. So, I agree na. Ravenclaw for Faisal.
Ang dating sa akin, personal opinion. Respect my opinion! The regionalism. And that's why he advocates for federalism. Which to me is okay. Let's just make regionalism enshrined in the law. Diba? Yun yung dating. And I think doon nanggagaling yung disconnect eh. Kumbaga, you're a very specialized Ravenclaw. I think, baka ako nga ulit, respect my opinion. Personally, tatakbo ba ako looking at, my chances? What are your chances of winning? But to me, that feels very calculated. It's not cunning, but it's calculated because from what I see in terms of yung perseverance niya, the Gryffindor side, the Hufflepuff side, loyalty to the principal, it's a Ravenclaw intelligent formula to get to an end. When you put your name out there knowing that you have, again, baka ako lang to, low chance of winning, but you're making yourselves known. Pinapakilala niya yung sarili niya dun sa mga taong pinaglalaban niya. Na baka, alam mo yun, parang calculated step tong, going for the presidency, putting your name in the goblet of fire, but knowing you're not going to win. Kasi he has a different end in mind.
Okay, so, Slytherin siya o Ravenclaw?
Ravenclaw yung dating. Kasi I would think if it's Slytherin, it's more for yourself.
Okay, ihirit ko lang. I think I have to say this. Doon sa binabanggit mo regarding, kasi Ravenclaw nga din sinabi ko. So I think we all agree Ravenclaw or ano, pero dun sa siguro bilang reaction lang dun sa sinabi mo na he is advocating for a certain group kaya siya alienating. I would say in fairness, to be fair to them, they have long been alienated by our system. Kaya somebody has to stand up. Yun lang.
Yun din yung actually gusto ko ring dagdagan yun. Hindi siya sa in-alienate niya yung the rest of the Filipino people, pero mas dahil marginalized sila. Marginalized yung Moro people, kaya para siyang si Calyodi, pero si Calyodi mas sector
Magsasaka,
kasi yung sa kanya, oo. Manggagawa, magsasaka. Pero ito si Faisal, ayun, mas yung nila, yung kultura at religion nila.
Yun nga, hindi niya tayo ini-alienate, pero alien yung dating sa atin dahil hindi tayo nanggaling doon sa side na yun. And ako siguro personally, hindi ko sila masyadong, nakakasalamuhan, nakakadaupang palad.
Pero, ano ba? Una, ang hirap niyang, nagre-research ulit ako, ang hirap niyang hanapan ng wala siyang Wikipedia page, wala siyang, kung saan ako napunta. Kaya ang hirap din niya, pero, yung background niya as representative ng marginalized Moro people, na kahit di ba natalo na siya ng ilang beses for regional governor, ganyan. Pero tumatakbo pa rin siya. Yun naman yung tingin ko na trait niya kung bakit Hufflepuff siya. Kasi naniniwala siya, di ko naman siya, based lang sa nakikita ko pero baka naniniwala siya na kailangan ng someone from their group na i-represent sila at the national level, ganyan. Kahit matalo pa siya, kahit di siya ma-vote na tatakbo siya dahil ito yung pinaniniwalaan niya para sa kanyang people. Yun yung, kaya tingin ko siya ay Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. Sasabihin ko sana Gryffindor kasi given the odds, lumalaban pa rin siya. Pero I think that's a more Hufflepuff thing to do.
Tash, ikaw?
I would stand pa rin na more of Ravenclaw siya.
Okay, so let's put it to a vote again.
Split.
Sino ang naniniwala na si Faisal Mangondato ay Ravenclaw? Okay, dalawa. Hufflepuff? Okay.
Paano na mag-break
decision?
So, kailangan nating mag-jump and poy. Eric,
kayo ba? Oh my God!
Kasi Ravenclaw at Hufflepuff Tapos, kung sinong mananalo, siya yung assign kung saan siya. Not necessarily sa house niya.
Okay. Sige.
Pero malamang, pag ako nanalo, ilalagay ko siya sa Ravenclaw kasi nga. Yun yung
same.
vote. Sige. Okay. Wait, takpan muna natin. Tapos itataas lang natin. Walang dayaan.
Okay.
Kasi
Okay.
Uy, baka magpalit walang palit.
Walang palitan. Ganyan.
Sige.
Ganyan mo lang.
Sige.
Jack and Poy.
Parang kita yun.
Actually, akala ko papel yung kay Eric Papel ba?
Papel nga.
Oo, papel.
Kita sa ganito niya. Nakita niya.
Kaya,
Kulang maliit yung kamay.
Pero gunting naman yung nilabas ko talaga. Hindi ko naman binago yun. Sabi naman kayo.
Sige.
Hindi ako mandaraya.
Maliit mo yung gunting mo ganito.
Hindi. Okay, so si Faisal ay Ravenclaw. Faisal Mangondato, Ravenclaw. Alright, let's go. Game na. 4 pa to. Okay. Eto na. Si Norberto Gonzales. Sa akin, si Norberto Gonzales ay dating National Security Advisor ni Gloria Arroyo. Tama, di ba? Dati na siya nasa government. Tapos, nakalagay sa profile niya, Democratic Socialist. Norberto Gonzales, 74, is an avowed democratic socialist whose long career spans activism and union organizing, peace talks negotiation, and national security advisor. So, parang isipin mo progressive yung datingan ni Norberto Gonzales. Pero,
Mhm.
nasa record din niya na siya ang isa sa mga chief architect ng Oplan Bantay-Laya nung panahon ni Gloria Arroyo na kasama si Palparan ay mga kasama sa mga talagang tumugis at nagpahirap sa mga taong critical sa government. Which is,
Mm-mm.
I think, a dark side of whatever is in his past. I mean, pag pinakinggan mo siya sa mga debate, parang okay naman din yung mga layunin niya. Pero may ganun ngang association sa Oplan Bantay-Laya, which is, I think, a blot sa kanyang track record. With that said, ang tingin ko sa kanya, ang nilagay ko sa notes ko ay Slytherin siya. Hindi dahil evil, pero mas Slytherin yung thinking ko sa kanya. Yun na lang. Antayin ko muna magsalita kayo bago ako mag-react pa sa mga sasabihin niyo. DJ, dahil Slytherin sinabi ko, ikaw unang mag-react.
Sa akin kasi may pagka Ravenclaw na may pagka Slytherin. Kasi yun sa akin na parang kung pagsasamahin yung past and then yung present niya, like what we hear from him sa debates, yung kaya daw siya tumakbo is because of the weak COVID response. Pero yun yung sa akin na, alam mo yun, like, it feels like he's been working in the shadows, which is very cunning. Yung history niya, yung platforma niya, I think he also wants to focus on food production and, dun sa ang experience ko, or siguro yun lang naalala ko, and correct me if I'm wrong, parang mas dating sa akin is tinutulig sa niya or kinikriticize niya yung current government versus presenting what he will do and what he can do, which I think is a very Slytherin thing to do.
How about you?
I guess
Tash?
Slytherin, yeah.
Nung nabasa ko sa kanya, yun nga, yung kanyang education and yung early career niya, political career. Ano pala to? May aktivista pala to dati. Sabi dito sa Vote Pilipinas
Seryoso?
na kasama siya sa, nag-aral siya ng pre-med sa Ateneo tapos medyo nag-stop siya kasi sumali siya sa anti-Marcos movement noon and napunta pa siya sa MNLF. So parang paggewang-gewang siya ng pinaglalaban. So parang from anti-government to pro-admin and then tinutulig sa rin niya yung mga kinakasama niya noon. So that for me is a very Slytherin thing. And parang meron siyang sinisingle out na group of people. Yung sinasabi mo kanina rin, it's not an evil thing in a sense, pero bakit hindi mo siya i-include dun? Kaya for me, he's more Slytherin.
Agreed din ako na Slytherin siya. Hindi sa dahil sa background niya. Pero yung kung paano siya bilang isang government official, tingin ko, kasi, paano ba? Dahil siya parang, at least sa nababasa natin, parang GMA, talaga
GMA man.
Henchman, parang ganun, oo. Parang through and through GMA ito. And, tingin ko makakancel out yung pagiging Gryffindor niya dahil hindi naman niya tinry na mag-go against kay GMA, ganyan. Kahit na kunyari, siya, anti-martial siya, lahat naman nun, anti-martial yung panahon nila, di ba?
Parang Crab and Goyle yung dating, no?
Oo. Yun. Kaya tingin ko, Slytherin siya.
Minsan lang mangyari to. Okay, so, lahat tayo nag-agree na Slytherin si Norberto Gonzales. At binanggit na ni GJ, parang datingan nga ay Crab and Goyle yung nila. I-sort mo na.
Norberto Gonzales, House Slytherin.
Alright. Okay. Ito na. Tatlo na to. Wait lang. Tatlo na lang.
Gusto ko lang, wala lang. Naisip ko lang. Kasi sa debates, parang sobrang kalmado niya. Tapos, ngayon lang ako nakapag-reflect na, oh my God, tong kandidato
Minister person siya, no?
Oo. Nakakatakot kung mananalo din pala to.
Alam mo yung datingan, yung
parang
mga
siya, tropa
mga mafia boss.
Oo, ganun.
Oo, ganun.
Si
Medyo
Palparan,
Godfather yung
si
dating.
Palparan yung hitman niya. Parang gano'n.
Oh, she.
Kasi, di ba, nung mga panahon na nandun tayo sa UP, Gloria Arroyo times talaga yun. Alam natin yan. Di ba?
Oo.
Oo, nag-rally. Natatandaan ko
First
yung rally. Yan sa
First
OBL eh.
rally ko sa Menjola, kasama ko si Erica. Na-host kami ng mga bombero.
Oh,
For Tofi yun.
Hindi, joke lang. Hindi, ayoko. Hindi ko mabanggitin kahit bilang magjo-joke. Hindi ko i-joke sa inyo yun. Kasi that's wrong. That's just wrong, di ba? Di ba? Dilawan talaga si Erica. Pero
Dilawan
Wala
talaga
akong
yun si Erica.
wala akong ibang itatag kasi mali yun. Ang paglaban at pagtindig para sa karapatan ng mga ibang tao at kapwa mo mag-aaral, kapwa mo magsasaka, whatever, ay hindi isang masamang bagay. Ito ay karapatan natin sa isang sistemang demokratiko.
Pero nakakatawa talaga yun, no? Ngayon lang tumama sa akin. Gusto ba nating mag-rally? Gusto ba nating pumunta sa mainit?
Hindi mainit nga eh, putya, di ba? Tapos yung mga yung mga nakasakay sa jeep, pagtitingnan kayo eh, tapos sasabihin, ano ba naman yung mga yan, di ba? Maraming judgment eh.
Pa-traffic.
Pampatraffic lang.
perwisyo daw.
Oo.
Perwisyo.
Pero,
Ikaw kaya, maligo ka kaya ng tubig galing sa kanal? Gusto mo ba yun? Hindi mo gusto yun?
Sorry, pinaglalaban namin yung karapatan na kinabukasan mo. Sorry.
Hindi,
Patpat
eto,
ng
yung binabanggit
police.
nila na yung rally na pinuntahan nila dahil sa TOEFL. O ngayon, anong dinananas natin? Libre ang college education. Produkto ba yan ng mga senador at ano lang? Hindi. Dahil din yan sa panawagan ng mga nabasa at nagpainit. So, please lang, wag niyo laging isipin na pag nagrarally pa, kalaban agad. Tapos wag niyo sasabihin na itong mga to ay ganun agad na kung ano mang tag na yon.
Iniisip niyo ako.
Mali yun. Wag.
Yes.
Hindi po komunista, satanista lang.
Patay ka, lalo kang patay. Okay, eto na. Ito, kanina ko pa ito hawak.
Hello.
Next candidate. Eto, masaya. Si Jose Montemayor.
Ay, pote.
Si Jose Montemayor ay isang doktor at isang lawyer. Kababayan ko to, taga-Avite to. At siguro, tapusin ko lang sa very feisty. Game GJ.
Hufflepuff.
Bato ba topic na lang?
Maiba siya yung natatanda.
Tara, maiba. Alis.
Maiba kanya. Kasi parang
Hindi ako tanggapin.
iniisip, alam mo yun, kinokondisyon ko yung sarili ko to think of him outside of the memes. Nahihirapan ako. Ayoko. Kasi mahal na mahal ko yung mga Hufflepuff friends ko. So parang na-offend ako ilagay siya sa Hufflepuff eh. Kasi, alam mo yun, the claims he made about COVID-19, and then you're going to claim to bring a medical legal background to the government because of the response. And we're still, even with the new president coming in, you're still going to be dealing with the pandemic, right? So, looking at Montemayor, na parang, alam mo yung dating niya talaga sa akin, Peter Pettigrew.
So Gryffindor.
So, Gryffindor siya eh.
Yun yung Gryffindor yung dating sa akin. Kasi if we look at Gryffindor, as much as most of the heroes of the story are from Gryffindor, they're not all perfect eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some bad eggs. And I think this is, alam mo yun, the ugly side of Gryffindor. You can become brave or you become boisterous.
Okay. Sige, Tash, what do you think? Bilang Gryffindor ka. Ipagtanggol mo ang house mo.
Basing on his achievements, ilalagay ko siya sa Ravenclaw, but he's one of the bad guys of Ravenclaw. I mean, ano bang
MBA, lahat na, PhD, whatever, lahat.
Na consultant, I mean, mahirap, tinignan ko kung anong specialization niya, mahirap yun, and he holds very high positions in hospitals. You have to have perseverance and intellect to get into that level, but ayun nga, nagsispew nga siya ng kung ano man. Hindi ko alam kung anong gusto niya iparating sa buhay. Pero
I mean,
hindi kasi isip ko, bakit Gryffindor? I mean, we have Peter Pettigrew, pero what's in Montemayor that puts him there in that house?
yun sa akin na yung pagka-Peter Pettigrew niya, di ba? Flip-flopping between, friends with Remus and James and Lillian, And then, like, that inconsistency na, putya, Ravenclaw ka na, Brad, na ito na yung achievements mo, mahirap
Okay,
yung
so ako
specialization
naman.
mo, according to a doctor. Hindi, pero yun yung point ko na parang, di ba? Okay, Ravenclaw ka na, Brad, pero alam mo yun, mag-claim ka na you're responding to the handling of the pandemic. Tapos, magsuspew ka ng misinformation.
Parang Lockhart, di ba?
Kaya nga.
Oo, ganun.
Kaya
Lockhart.
sisingit na ako. Kasi
Go.
sa akin, Ravenclaw siya. Hindi dahil proud ako na Ravenclaw siya, pero dahil Lockhart levels na hindi naman lahat ng Ravenclaw mabuti at magaling at maayos eh.
Yeah.
Pero matalino talaga siya.
Si
Putang ina.
Gilroy.
Paano ka magkakaroon ng double, triple, whatever, daming degree na kailangan mo ng intellect doon. Kahit anong mangyari. Ravenclaw siya, pero doon nga siya sa pangit na side ng mga Ravenclaw.
Tangina, ganito ka talino, ganito ka kagaling. Tapos, ito, binabasa ko lang, Vote Pilipinas. His tandem with Joselito David is basing his platform on what the candidates call a faith-based approach to glorify God. Montemayor has expressed his opposition to same-sex unions. Okay, you're coming from a medical and legal background. Then you should know the statistics of kids who are not adopted and what happens, to them in the system, and what happens when you allow same-sex unions, right? In the states that allow them or have a high rate, what is the social welfare system like? Abortion, except for medical reasons, understandable, but why, as a medical professional, why are you letting religious or personal beliefs get in the way of your patient's health? Divorce and the death penalty, again, come from a legal medical background. What happens to kids in an unhappy family environment?
So, babalik nga tayo sa punto. Sorry, Erica, hindi ka pa nagkasalita. Pero Ravenclaw talaga siya. Kasi di ba binabagit natin kanina, matalino, magaling, pero wala sa notion ng Ravenclaw ng whether it's right or wrong eh. Basta, you'd learn it. Kasi parang ako, di ba, in past episodes of the podcast, I've also said this, I'd be interested in reading about Horcruxes and reading about dark magic because I'd be curious about it. Hoping na lang na yung moral compass ko is good enough to not turn to the dark side. Pero mahalaga din talaga sa amin yung learning. I mean, I will not speaking for all Ravenclaws. So tingin ko, Ravenclaw talaga siya. What do you think, Erica? Sorry.
Ang hirap.
Nag-research?
Ang hirap. Kasi nung una tingin ko din, siya Gryffindor. Kasi matapang siya for all the wrong reasons. Tapos, ang nakikita ko kasi, sige, siya, like, multi-hyphenate siya, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pero, bakit niya yun ginawa? Sa akin, tingin ko, hindi dahil sa may thirst siya for knowledge. Tingin ko, ginawa niya yun dahil gusto niya yung title. Kasi parati niyang sinasabi na, I'm an attorney, I'm a doctor. Tapos kapag ina-address siya ng ibang candidates, sabi at si Attorney Montemayor, si Dr. Montemayor, di ba parang nandun siya, yung stature, kailangan andun siya.
Personal glory.
Oo.
So, Gryffindor.
Inisip ko din yung similarity kay Lockhart. Parang, fine, si Lockhart talagang, wala talaga siya, di ba? Patapon talaga siya. Pero, ginamit niya yung skill niya. Alam niya na hindi siya magaling sa lahat. Pero alam niya kung saan siya magaling. At yun yung pinush niya yon. Si Dr. Attorney Montemayor, hindi natin alam kung saan siya magaling.
Alam mo yung the ugly side of James Potter? The bully.
Okay.
James Potter who was boisterous and loud and, kind of a jerk. That's what he gives.
Spoiled brat. Mm-hmm.
Tapos, di ba may isang debate pa? Yung kay Isko, yung sa CNN yata yun, na parang nagsasabi siya ng data na 50 billion whatever dollars, ganyan. Tapos kinorek siya ni Isko. Tapos sabi niya, tapos nung nasabi ni Isko na gano'n na, parang kinat niya na si Isko na okay, I concede, parang gano'n. Siya hindi yun para tanungin si Isko dahil gusto niyang ma-clarify, pero gusto niya i-taunt si Isko. Yun yung pakiramdam ko dun sa exchange nila na yun. Tapos dahil alam niyang talo siya, stop na.
Okay.
Parang,
Yun yung nag-viral na parang 'di ba yung mga ini-interview ni Carmina, sorry, I don't remember her last name. Siya lang yung, for me, yung harapang binastos niya si Carmina. The rest like bongbong and
Yeah.
when the reporter was accosting them, they know how to deal with it politely. Siya lang yung, to me, again, a Gryffindor thing to do because Hermione does it to people, Ron does it to people, Harry did it a lot less, which was to be brave enough to fight and answer back. And yun nga, the bad side of Gryffindor,
Okay.
like, the bad side of James Potter.
Tash.
I concede. Yep. Taken the points.
Tinanggap.
Hindi, kasi inisip ko parang, pwede nga siya si Lockhart dahil minamarket niya na magaling siya, he's spewing misinformation as well, iba si Lockhart, pinapalitan niya yung credentials niya para pabango yung pangalan niya. Ito si Montemayor, ang problema, matino yung credentials niya, pero
Tunay, no?
tunay.
oo.
And nagets ko rin na yun nga, yung harap-harapan niyang binara, yung journalist na yun. Sadly, it's a Gryffindor thing. Na pagbalagda sa mga authorities, na pwede mo naman sagutin in a very civil manner, pero hindi, pinush pa rin niya. It's sad. It's
Okay, sige.
it's
Ako,
actually Gryffindor.
sorry. Oo, nasway nyo na rin ako, Gryffindor nga. Oo nga.
Pumayag.
Hindi kasi, ayoko naman siya maging Ravenclaw eh. So, okay. Hindi, pero tama kayo sa point na hindi siya para talaga sa knowledge eh. Mas para, alam mo yun,
The
stature,
status.
to roar.
Kumustura.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, sabi nga natin, that's the bad side of Gryffindors. Sabi ni GJ, yung parang si James, I would say parang si Sirius. Kasi mas si Sirius para sa akin kasi mas si Sirius yung darker bully person.
Ni Jay.
Kaysa
May
kay James.
pagka-asshole.
Hindi may pagka-asshole talaga.
Ganun yung vibe ni Montemayor dun sa interview na yun.
Sobra.
And yun nga, kahit yun sa mga debates, like, it's basically gloating na, I don't care what you guys say, or whatever I say, I still have credentials.
Okay, so Tash, I think we all agree. Inducted.
Ay, okay, Montemayor, you are in House Gryffindor.
Roar! 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 Sabay-sabay! Okay, dalawa na lang. Sino kaya ang una ko mabubunot sa dalawa?
Sino? Did you put your name in the goblet?
O yan, saya. Random to. Tapos ito yung order.
Random to. Seryoso.
Oo.
Okay.
No.
Absent.
Shit!
Na-miss yung train.
Dudley.
Hindi, pero seryoso.
Baka na sa cooking show.
Wait, sino na magsasalita? Si Tash na ulit, no? Si Tash na yung una. Tash, ito, si Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Slytherin. Para siyang, for me, yung mga bad guys or bad characters ng Slytherin, sila yung malakas kumapit sa prestige ng name na parang yun na yung be all end all nila. Yun na Machiavelli. Kaya doon ko siya nilagay. And then, obvious naman, he's really cunning na from the martial law era, and sabihin natin hindi siya sumusunod sa footsteps ng tatay niya, pero come on. Yeah, parang no-brainer for me to put him in Slytherin.
DJ, mamaya ka magsalita. Panghuli ka magsasalita since ikaw yung taga-Slytherin. Erica.
Ako, tingin ko,
I'm
squib siya.
activating the smart.
Squib.
Kasi hindi siya graduate.
Squib.
Tingin ko, hindi siya magkakuha.
Script na lang.
Kasi...
Pero,
Pero, ayokong, di ba, hindi naman lahat, Slytherins are cunning, hindi sila masasamang tao. So, parang unfair na well, yung Dark Lord na sa Slytherin. Pero anyway, yun, I don't think he deserves to be sorted in any house. Sa akin
Wow.
lang. Hindi naman natin, alam lang natin na peke yung mga nilalabas niya. Peke yung diploma niya. Hindi rin natin alam kung anong plataforma niya. Ganun.
Unity!
Though kung, di ba, pero ito pinag-isipan ko ang character para releasein ko para sa kanya, si Lockhart. Kasi, yung fake news. Ganyan, fake news. Spreading lies. Tapos, using it to promote himself. Yun. Mas Lockhart siya. Pero, ewan ko, squib talaga siya para sa akin. Sorry, walang magical power. Sorry Pinanganak siya sa isang pamilyang may magical power, pero siya wala talaga.
So parang sa Encanto?
Actually.
Wait, ako muna, DJ. Last ka, DJ.
Mirabel?
Si Mirabel.
Last ka, DJ.
May magic naman si Mirabel.
Ikaw muna, go.
Pero parang ganun. Pero, DJ, ako muna. Pero dahil doon sa sinabi ni Tash kanina, gets ko rin, kasi ako, sa totoo lang, sa notes ko, nakalagay talaga sa akin, yung unang sinabi, absent. Di ko siya sana gusto i-sort. Pero, yung narinig ko yung sinabi ni Tash tungkol dun sa martial law era, tapos, he is really, right now, really, if you really think about it, he is banking on his father's legacy. Diba? Yun yung whole, kahit ano sabihin niya kung anong nilalagay nilang platform, sa totoo lang, ang pinagpuhunan niya ay yung apelido niya na Marcos. Tapos yung Junior. Kasi siya si Ferdinand Junior. Pero yung Marcos. Yung branding as Junior. And that is a Slytherin trait. Lineage is a Slytherin trait. So Slytherin siya, if you ask me. So, hindi siya matalino, hindi siya cunning in that sense, pero yung pagpapahalaga sa lineage, to me, that is a Slytherin trait and that makes him a Slytherin. Tapos, isipin, hindi ko alam kung anong house ni Dolores Umbridge. Pero I would compare him to Dolores Umbridge kasi si Umbridge doesn't also care about the truth. Doesn't care about the truth, doesn't care about anything, basta ang gusto niya to remain in power, to stay in power, and to do the things that that she wants to do. Diba? To torment people. I mean, I'm not saying that Bongbong Marcos is out to torment people. We don't know that.
But he has done it in the past.
They have done it in the past, but we don't know that. I mean, let's be fair about this. We don't know that he is out to torment people. For all we know, maybe he's really, maybe he's really sincere about wanting to serve. Maybe. Pero, again, babalik ako sa point, Slytherin, Dolores Umbridge. To me.
Slytherin si Dolores Umbridge.
Okay, so Slytherin.
No, there's a, okay. Sige, go.
Hindi, go. Ikaw na. This is your chance. House mo yan eh.
Okay. Throughout the series, who was the character who capitalized on their last name?
Malfoy.
Draco.
Malfoy. He is. Exactly. Draco Malfoy. What did Malfoy do throughout the series that was noteworthy except for one fluke at the end? Nothing. He was just there to antagonize and to be a presence that was at best, he was just a recurring bug. Ipis lang siya compared to everything they had to face.
Wait, ferret naman. Ferret. Huwag naman ipis. Ferret naman.
Ipis.
Hindi di ba finerek siya ni
Like,
ni Alastor.
Mad Eye.
I mean, I don't know, hindi Bechdel test, but the Malfoy test. Let's remove Draco Malfoy from the equation. Would things still kind of happen the way they did? Yeah. Right? Kasi even from their family side, it was Bellatrix who was the most impactful, right? From their lineage. So, immediately it's very Malfoy. However, if you look at his upbringing, even his own father said this about him. He is Dudley Dursley. He's lazy. He has no ambition. Ambition is the one thing Slytherins have. Slytherins, cunning, leadership, resourcefulness. Have you guys, the Kingmaker where he goes, dealing with the public is a chore.
Oh, puta ngayon yun.
That's very Draco Malfoy. That's very Draco Malfoy. And that's why you see those TikTok videos and those videos of him on Facebook, like literally, avoiding people or just right out ignoring them and having a security like form a barrier around him versus everyone else. So to me, it's a mix of Draco Malfoy, Dudley Dursley, and it's his own father who said this about him, right? He's lazy, he has no ambition, there's nothing for that kid.
Ibabaguhin ko rin sinabi ko, Slytherin pa rin para sa akin, pero Draco nga. Kasi Draco Malfoy he also lies. Diba? Yung sa sling niya, sa arm niya, and everything else, he also always lies.
Yung, alam mo, pag nasaktan siya, point niya sa...
Think about the sling.
Diba?
He's doing that.
Ginagawa niya ngayon yung sling.
Oh my God.
Draco Malfoy. Tapos, ito. Sorry, ang ingay ko na. Pero, ito. Diba, sabi mo, GJ, yung father niya, sinabi sa kanya na lazy, whatever.
Let me find that.
Binubuli siya ng father niya, di ba? Si Bongbong, in a sense.
Oo.
Yeah.
Di ba binubuli rin ni Lucius si Draco?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
na you're not enough,
na bakit di mo galingan?
Oo, wala kang kwenta, ganyan, ba't talo ka niyan? Lagi kang, ulit-ulit ka na favorite si Harry Potter, pero baka hindi ka na talaga magaling. So yeah, the parallel is Draco Malfoy, spoiled brat. Tapos, everything is a chore. Damn, Slytherin tas Draco Malfoy. What do you think, Erica?
Agree. Tingin, dun sa ambition part, sinabi natin kanina na baka wala siyang ambition. Hindi, tingin ko, Draco Malfoy pa rin siya. Ambition lang niya, patunayan niya na Marcos siya. Like, Draco, ang ambition lang niya, patunayan niya na Malfoy siya. Yun lang yun. Para i-continue yung legacy ng kanilang family.
I found the diary entry. This where he talks about Bongbong. Bongbong is our principal worry. He is too carefree and lazy. So I wrote him the fatal secret of the Marcos name. They are brilliant but lazy. And they tend to be so unless they buckle down to a dogged, unrelenting resolve to fight off sloth or a traumatic experience turns them into bitterness that congeals to a determined resolve to achieve and be victorious. So I think, this kind of lends to the power that, the Marcos name has. There's no discounting the numerous proofs and record and evidence of the evils that was committed during his reign and that he encouraged and enabled. Pero it also speaks to why he stayed in power that long. He was brilliant, but this is as a brilliant man, if this is your assessment of your son, and your assessment of your son over time, even after you are gone, proves your assessment correct. He is too carefree and lazy, has not finished anything. He lies. Oh my God, the sling. Right? So
I think we
to
all
me,
agree, right?
You grow up Dudley Dursley and you just live the rest of your life as Draco Malfoy. You are Ferdinand Marcos Jr., House
Wait lang.
Slytherin, and tomorrow...
Idadagdag ko lang. Si Draco Malfoy, last na, nail in the coffin, dot the I's, cross the T's, mayaman si Malfoy. Filthy rich.
He was rich.
Tapos, kung napakinggan niyo yung episode 2 at saka kung babasahin niyo sa Pottermore, ang yaman ng mga Malfoy, dubious ang pinagkuhanan kasi yung pinagmamayabang nila na mayaman sila pero hindi, 'di ba? Ginawa nila yung mga contradictory dun sa mga sinasabi nila.
Like this story is right, like there's part in the book where they talk about the jewels owned by the Malfoys, right? Bellatrix Lestrange's vault. Sobrang Slytherin niya. And okay, well, I'll take Ferdinand Marcos Jr. into House Slytherin and expel him soon.
Erika, ikaw, agree ka na, no?
Yes, oo.
Tash,
Pero kasi nakakainis
Ay,
eh.
Gusto ko
Malfoy
yung
naman eh.
ma-expel na lang siya after.
Baby Malfoy.
okay, so
Malfoy siya hanggang book 7.5.
Baby Malfoy.
Kasi yung cursed child siya.
hindi naman kasali yun. Wag mo isali, hindi kasali yun. Ano ko ba?
Ferdinand Malfoy Jr.
Ferdinand Malfoy yun. I love that.
BBM, Bongbong Malfoy.
Oh my God.
And last, but certainly not the
Yeah.
least, si Kuya Isko.
Ooh,
Moreno.
this is interesting too.
Wait, sino magsasaga? Si Erika. Erika.
Kaya ako. Wait lang. Siya tayo na busy sa kanya. Hindi ko naisip to. Kayo, baka anong nag-host? Nag-moderate?
Nabwisit.
Sa akin sa notes ko, nilagay ko dito si Isko ay Slytherin. Kasi sa akin, si Isko ay he is trying to means to an end. And maybe he started, alam din natin yung kwento ni Isko, galing siya sa mahirap din eh. Yung nag-aano nga siya, di ba, nagpapagpag, ganyan. Pero ngayong nasa power na siya, ang dating kasi sa akin Isko ngayon, pero yung issue kasi niya na, di ba, nung hindi niya sinama si Willie Ong nung pupunta siya kasi yung may mga tao na sa Mindanao siya pumunta, parang
Sara.
oo, di ba? Oo, Sara sila. Tapos parang Isko, Sara, parang ganun. So parang wag na lang hindi niya sinama. So parang means to an end. He's willing to let go of anyone else just to be able to rule, to have power, to win. Tapos ngayon, si Isko is Duterte 2.0, mas pogi at makinis na Duterte. Will do anything he has to do to win. So to me, Slytherin siya.
Sorry. Hindi, naalala ko lang, we interviewed him for a project in second
Com
year
3?
university.
Oh.
Oo, Com 3 yata. Interview namin siya in his office. Counselor pa siya.
Okay.
Sobrang gwapo niya, maayos kausap, and ayun, I would think at that point, thinking back, he was either Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. Back then, very humble. But I think at least for me personally, the first spot of red on his ledger was, when he cleared out Divisoria and, the sidewalk vendors, what proper relocation was there. It's the scary part to me. It's very Duterte, but I agree with what you're saying. Resourcefulness, I'm not sure, but the cunning and the ambition is very Slytherin.
Ikaw,
Tingin ko,
Erica.
Slytherin nga din siya. Parang, balik ako dun sa 50 million pesos pa. Basta yung donation sa kanya.
Oh my gosh.
Tapos diba,
Inamin niya.
Inamin niya. Tapos may dala siyang resibo. Tapos, tinanong sila, dun sa same debate sa CNN, tinanong sila who of them would return and who of them would keep the donations that they were given. Tapos, siya lang yung hindi except dun sa absent, siya lang yung, hindi nagtaas ng kamay. Tapos sinabi niya, ang explanation niya, hindi ko itataas yung kamay ko kasi sa record ko, at alam niyo ng lahat yun na hindi ko sinole. Pero parang opportunity to talk about it, etc. Oo. Tingin ko very cunning yun. Sobrang nice move talaga nun. Galing. Kasi di mo alam kung sincere o ginagawa niya yun para makakonvert ng votes, ganyan. Dun sa issue na yun, panalo pa rin siya in whatever way you look at it. Kasi nakuha niya yung pera, tapos inamin niya, pero non-committal siya. Parang
wala siyang pananagutan.
Wala.
Alam
kasi
niya
nabayaran naman niya yung tax niya ganon. So,
at least nabayad siya ng tax, di ba? Putang ina.
Well, oo.
Tash.
Sa akin, sa interviews, alam mong tumatagos sa screen yung arrogance niya. yung stance niya, yung pananalita niya, I don't see any tinge of kahit sincerity. Kaya minsan hindi ko rin nagigets kung paano niya nakuha yung masa, pero fine kung nakuha niya yung kiliti in some other ways. And pansin ko, di ba before sumasali siya sa mga, di ba meron siyang billboard dati? Mga sponsorships niya, whatever. Parang doon pa lang, naisip ko na hala, nagpaparamdam na to through being popular. I think it's very, Slytherin trait na talagang gagawin niya lahat just to reach that ambition. Which is, eto na nga, on the road na nga siya, lalaban na nga siya for presidency. So for me, he's Slytherin.
Dagdag ko lang doon, parang yung ambition, yun din yung isang trait niya na very striking kasi marami namang may gusto. Parang marami naman nagsasabi na fit naman siya for president. Pero hilaw pa, hindi pa ngayon. Kasi one term of mayor tapos takbo ka na agad ng president. Masyado siyang ambitious para sa too good for him.
Mayor to president na.
Oo.
Okay, go.
Kasi nga, Duterte 2.0, mayor to president. Dagdag ko lang.
Carry lang.
Iirit ko lang dito kay Isko, pero I think, kung si Pacquiao, ibalik ko lang kasi parang full circle, balik ko si Pacquiao, kung si Pacquiao tumakbong vice president, nanalo na yan.
Oo, I would think so.
Oo.
I would think so, and yun nga, like, at his stage and at his level, feeling ko he could be a good vice president, and he could learn from something. Like if it, I would really have no problems if it was maybe like, ayoko mag-drop ng vote later, let's talk about it. Pero ang iniisip ko, is scary to me. It's Tom, Marvel, or Riddle. The similarities between very humble beginnings and the rise through, ambition and hard work and perseverance.
Tapos,
right? He was an actor.
Good looking pa.
Oo.
He was good looking. He was charismatic. He started with, these cutesy roles as the kid and like, the sister to like popular actresses. And then, the lull in the career went to, more adult genres. And then like that whole transition and that perseverance, it kind of, to me, is like a Slytherin posing as a Gryffindor, the way he talks. I think he's sincere. I would disagree that, there's no sincerity, but I get what Tash is saying. He's so sincere, he's so arrogant that he believes it. Like, that's his reality, which, again, is a Tom Marvel or Riddle trait. He believes that the reality is magic should only go to the people I believe it should go to. And that is, again, another Duterte trait. And it's a scary thought. My main two fears is look at Ferdinand Malfoy. What environment did he grow up in?
Ferdinand Malfoy na talaga.
Look at the environment he grew up in, and look at the current political climate whenever we criticize the government. So, I'm not saying anything for certain, but I think there's a certain logic that we can expect or predict. This is what he grew up with. This is what he knows works. Now, when people rise up against him, there's a certain response that he will follow. Childhood experiences shape us. And that's my one fear now. And I didn't have this until we had this episode and conversation. Give me a more marketable, a more charismatic, a more well-known, and undoubtedly accomplished version of Duterte. Like, look how much good he has done for Manila. In essence, like, not good, but essentially the change. So again, that's a scary formula to me. So in a sense, I'm glad that there's a number of players in the game, like, Malfoy and, Isko, Marvolo, Riddle, balancing each other out in terms of the split.
Okay, so i-ano mo na, ipasok mo na.
Yeah. Isko Moreno. House Slytherin. We need to ask Professor Dumbledore to keep a close eye on him. Yeah.
Okay, so i-recap lang natin yung mga candidates natin. In alphabetical order. Si Ernie Abella is a Ravenclaw. Si Calyodi de Guzman is a Gryffindor. Si Isko Moreno, as we mentioned, is a Slytherin. Si Norberto Gonzalez is a Slytherin. Si Ping Lacson is a Slytherin. Si Faisal Mangandato is a Ravenclaw. Si Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is a Slytherin. Si Jose Montemayor is a Gryffindor. Si Manny Pacquiao is a Gryffindor. And si Lenny Robredo is a Hufflepuff. So, ang total natin, si Robredo lang ang nag-iisang Hufflepuff. Dalawa ang Slytherin, dalawa ang Ravenclaw, si Ernie Abella, tsaka si Mangondato. 1, 2, 3, tatlo ang Gryffindor, De Guzman, Montemayor, tsaka Pacquiao. Slytherin, si Bongbong, si Ping, si Gonzales, tsaka si Tumagoso. So, 4 yung Slytherin. So, parang politicians, no? Kahit saan talaga pumunta, ganun yung gagawin. Okay. Bago ko tapusin tong episode natin, ang haba rin naging conversation natin, and I think ang saya din siya, di ba? I mean, nakala ko nung una parang hindi tayo magkakaroon ng debates, pero nagka-debate din. Ang galing. Pero meron akong bonus round. Balikan natin yung past presidents. Mabilisan lang, walang debate. Sabihin nyo lang kung ano yung house na tingin nyo sa mga presidents. Okay? Rapid fire. Duterte. Slytherin sa akin.
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Okay. Noynoy Aquino.
Ravenclaw.
Gryffindor.
Oh.
Gloria Arroyo. Slytherin.
Slytherin.
No. Let me change. I think she's Ravenclaw, yeah.
Era Estrada.
Shit. That one is hard.
Ako din napaisip din ako.
Gryffindor.
Scrib. Based on his acting roles, Gryffindor. Based on his acting roles.
Gryffindor.
Not as president.
Kamasa.
Si FBR.
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Talaga ba? Okay.
Trump.
Sino sa'yo? Ikaw?
Iniisip ko si medyo mas, hindi ba parang medyo Slytherin-ish din siya kasi bawal na mag-explain eh. Kasi
he came from a military background, yeah?
Saka ano siya dati?
Oh.
Martial law.
Martial law person tapos lumipat. Tapos naging president.
Pwede.
Parang si Enrile. Pero si Enrile, si
Nicolas Flamel. Nicolas Flamel. Immortal.
Nicolas Flamel.
Tag-inang yan.
Cory
Aquino. Hindi ko si Cory Aquino.
Gryffindor.
Feeling ko Hufflepuff. Ang
Dilawan na naman.
Ay, si Ninoy. Si Ninoy yung Gryffindor.
Pero,
medyo mirror yun eh. Medyo mirror yung Jessie Lenny story dun sa Cory Ninoy.
Kahit Noynoy din. Kasi
Somehow.
Kaya naman tumakbo si Noynoy na presidente dahil namatay si Cory noong 2009. Si Maros, yung tatakbong presidente nun, di ba?
Nag-giveaway lang siya.
Yeah.
Si Marojas, yung, ano yung Mr. Chinelas ba yun?
Si Mr.
Palengke.
Mr. Palengke tayo. That was so bad. That was so bad.
Hoy, Manny Villar.
Ano yun?
Nakakaligo ka na ba sa
dagat ng
basura? Pucha. Alam mo, pero pwede rin palang Mr. Chinelas si Marojas.
Kasi
asawa niya si Corina.
Si Corina, yung asawa niya yung Chinelas. Yung Palengke.
Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Slytherin, no?
Slytherin.
Magaling, matalino, cunning, tapos...
Yeah, based on that diary story, he's a complete Slytherin.
Oo, di ba?
That's Lucius Malfoy talking to Draco.
Dinaya nga niya na ano siya, di ba? Na tawag doon, war hero.
Ang dami niyang dinaya.
Si Voldemort siya.
Ang dami niya finabricate.
Well, ito, sige. Last na lang to. Since si Ferdinand Marcos Sr. pinag-usapan natin. Inisip ko mas siya yung Voldemort sa kwento. Kasi matalino, magaling, cunning, and stuff. Tapos matagal na muno.
Ang daming pang-followers.
Pwede rin siya
na pwede niyang tawagin.
Si Imelda pwede ring Voldemort
Ay,
actually.
Yeah.
Pero mas...
It could be like Quirrell, like Marcos was Quirrell and Imelda was Voldemort.
Ina. Okay, sige. So yun, that's the end of our episode. Maraming salamat sa inyong tatlo. Ang dami natin na pag-usapan. I had fun talking to you about this. I hope you had fun as well.
Yes. Mas may magic na nangyari.
So, Tash, thank you. Kasi yung dalawa,
No problem.
ano na yan, mga residente ng Harry Potter podcast yan eh. Pero ikaw, I expect,
Induction niya to.
and I expect na kukontakin kita. I hope we can have yung regular episode na pag-usapan natin.
Sure.
Message na kung kailan tayo pwede. Thank you, GJ. Thank you, Erica. And maraming salamat, listeners, sa pakikinig ninyo dito. Maraming salamat, listeners, sa pakikinig. Sana i-take ninyo itong pinag-usapan namin with a grain of salt. Di ba? For funding lang dito. Pero ang goal natin dito is really to encourage everyone to think about who they are going to vote for and to really consider many things. Hindi lang yung pangalan, hindi lang yung nagawa. Maraming bagay. Tingnan natin history, tingnan natin yung present, tingnan natin maraming bagay. Huwag tayong magpadala sa house lang natin. Huwag tayong magpadala sa mga biases lang natin. Tingnan natin as much as possible lahat ng bagay. Yun lang. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. And lagi natin tatandaan, kapag boboto na tayo, kahit sino pa ang mapili natin, number 1 dapat ang Pilipinas, number 1 dapat ang Constitution, number 1 dapat ang Philippine flag, ang Filipino.
Magic
is real.
Alright. Thank you.
Anong spell to make people vote wisely?
Votante.
No. Ituloy mo, Brad. Tuloy mo.
Yun na yung votante.
Panindigan mo
Uy,
yan.
dapat in the future, pwede kang magkaroon ng
Sinas lang naman ang kilala natin na ano pala. Hi, Nas.
Sinas lang. Hi, Nas. Mag-guest ba si Nas or busy?
Hindi ko alam eh. Busy siya sa doctoring.